This is Susan Scott Parker. I founded the first business disability network and have some 30 years' experience working with business, enabling them to position disability as a business and an ethical priority. I have been asked by site savers to explain why any program designed to enable people into formal employment should start with the employer, given making it easier for the employer inevitably makes it easier for the job seeker, because positioning the employer as a valued customer and potential partner opens many more doors than continuing to blame the employer as the problem. You can just hear the door slam shut. Everywhere I go, employers say, it's too hard. It's too hard to attract suitable applicants with disabilities. We can't find the help my managers need to get this right. It's too risky. It's too time-consuming, probably too costly. We're told not to discriminate against them, but we never meet them. Who are you talking about? What skills have they got? Where are they? And it's all true. Everywhere I go, I see agencies that try to place people into jobs that might come up, but they are not helping employers to recruit people into the specific vacancies that they need to fill now. We need to do both. In labor market terms, we need to get a better balance between the services, the facilities that push candidates towards work in general, and the forces that pull people into particular vacancies with the right person going to the right particular job with a particular employer. And we can only do this when, 1, we pay as much attention to our employers as we do to our people with disabilities. 2, we ask employers what would make it easier for you to hire, to deliver good practice, and then we provide the expert support that they're looking for. 3, we get to know employers as individuals and ask their advice. What would you do in my shoes if it was your job to help disabled people into work? And we move away from the traditional but unhelpful automatic assumption that they're the problem or worse. And 4, we need to learn directly from employers and come to respect their world, their reality, to understand it, and be seen to be part of it. The stereotypes about employers are as unhelpful as the stereotypes we fight every day about people with disabilities. We have to remember, millions and millions of disabled people are working today around the world, and they are working for employers. So just as we don't generalize regarding the needs and aspirations and wants of people with disabilities, so it doesn't help disabled people to generalize about employers. Of course, they also vary hugely as individual business leaders, as human beings, by sector, by their role, by the size of their company. Some will welcome the chance to advise, some will not. Some will be comfortable doing things they've never done before, some will not. And some, of course, want to do better. Others, of course, don't know yet that they should. I want to stress this point. While it is easy and understandable to blame the employer, to position the employer as a problem, it just doesn't help. It has got in the way for year after year after year. What does help is actively including employers in our thinking and in the way we do things, just as we insist that we include people with disabilities. All the investment in the individual job seeker is wasted if the employer says no. So surely it's only logical that we give employers a much greater role in our thinking and in the services we offer. We have an exciting opportunity with Inclusion Works. We can make it easier for employers to say yes, so that it becomes easier for the person to get a job, and it's the right job. Our job must be to meet the needs and expectations of both parties. After all, a good job match is nothing more than the right person in the right job as seen by both the employer and the individual. We have an opportunity with the Inclusion in Works project to pioneer a new way of thinking and doing that gets much better results, precisely because employers have actively participated with us in helping us to shape a program that works for them as well as for every job seeker. And we can only do this by asking their advice and positioning them as important in our world. Just as we consult disabled people when designing services and programs, so we should be consulting employers. What would make it easier for you to deliver the best practice that works to the mutual benefit of your company and people with disabilities. I will never forget, a few years ago, we arranged for some government workers whose job it was to help people find jobs to spend 2 days in a bank. We called it employer awareness training for the professional advisors. Those professional advisors came out saying they had no idea there were so many different jobs in that bank. They had no idea people could enjoy working for a bank. And they realized that they had been steering their people away from good careers simply by making assumption about what it was like to work in a bank and the opportunities that were on offer. Those professionals left with personal relationships and were much better able to advise the job seekers on what to expect should they want to work in a bank environment. Starting with the employers will open so many doors, so many opportunities. And we have to remember, people change when it's easier to change than not to change. All we're trying to do is make it easier to change.